is causing pain or discomfort. Muscular discomfort is okay, but joint pain is not good. So setting yourself in your comfortable position. If you're lying down on the back. If you're sitting, if you can find a position that allows you to sit up so that you're not compressing the abdomen. So I'm not slouching and collapsing forward, creating that pressure on the belly that is not going to allow me to breathe properly. So see if I can give myself as much space as I can. Allowing the arms to relax. If you're lying down, turning the palms to face up and towards the ceiling. See if I can feel the arm externally rotating, the shoulder rolling back, and the front of the chest opening up a little bit more. And then maintaining the arms are nice and relaxed. Setting the legs to a comfortable position too. Just notice where the breath is. I can feel that the breath is at the top of the chest, is that kind of panic, rush breath. See if I can encourage the breath to drop down into the belly, allowing the body to relax a little bit more. So see if you can think of the belly expanding on the inhalation and relaxing on the exhalation. As I feel the breath starts getting a little bit more relaxed, the body feels a little bit more settled in this position, then we're going to start focusing on the neck. I'm going to start off with a little skull rock. So if I'm lying down, the head stays on the ground. I'm going to press the chin down into the back of the throat. If you can give yourself that double chin. And then I'm going to lift the chin up. I'm going to try and look up, look back. See if I can try and create a nice stretch down the front of the throat. As you keep that movement going, making sure that nothing is creating pinching pain at the back of the neck. So there is no pain shooting down the arms, there's no tingling into the fingertips. The movement that feels easy, feels loose. I'm not going to force it. And then noticing any restriction, I find that when I press the chin down to the throat, I can lengthen the back of the neck, but feels really stiff, really tight. Or I might find that when I lift the chin up and trying to lengthen through the front of the throat, I can feel a really strong stretch down the throat into the front of the chin. And then I'm just going to ease back. Whatever I'm doing, I'm not going to force the movement. I'm just trying to mobilize the front to back. I'm going to try 2 more times. So I'm going to tuck it in and then trying to look up and behind. And then easing back. Last time, tuck it in and then looking up and behind. And releasing back, returning the head back to the middle, turning the head gently from side to side, making sure that there is no tension left, especially at the back of the neck. Encouraging a little rotation this time, looking over one shoulder, turning to look the other way, turning to look the other way. And then as you keep that movement going, see if you can create a little bit more traction down the side of the neck. So as you turn to look to the right shoulder, think of pushing the left shoulder back a little. So that somebody was trying to push the left shoulder away as you're turning to look over to the right. Just to see if I can create a gentle traction that goes from the base of the ear down the side of the neck, all the way to the, almost like front of the chest, the front of the shoulder. And I'm going to ease back and then try the same thing to the other side. As I turn to look to the left, I'm just going to draw the right shoulder back to see if I can create that nice and gentle opening down the right side of the neck, easing back, and then I'm going to turn again to look over the right. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And releasing back. Shrugging the shoulders up to the head, shrugging your shoulders up to your ears, and then push them down and away. So think of the neck as shortening, disappearing between the shoulders as you shrug them up, and then lengthening away as you press the shoulders down. So I'm going to shorten it, shrugging the shoulders up to the ears, and then lengthening, pressing them down and away. As you keep that elevation, depression going, see if you can notice the shoulder blades moving at the back of the rib cage. See if I can try and encourage that movement as much as possible. And then same as usual. Notice any difference between the right and the left side. So I feel that one side seems to be moving really well, one side feels quite sticky, quite stuck. I'm going to focus on that side to see if I can create a better glide, a better movement that way. 3. Press them down, press them away. 2. Last time, shrugging them up, pressing them down. And then this time, keeping the neck nice and long. So see if I can be aware of that nice lift, nice length into the neck. I'm going to start protracting the shoulders. So I'm going to pull the shoulders forward, and then I'm going to push them back. Pull them forward, push them back. If you're seated up, you've got a little bit more range of movement as there is nothing behind you to stop. So I'm going to really try to exaggerate the movement to see if I can get that opening, closing, opening, closing. If I'm lying down, I'm a little bit more restricted because I've got less space, so the floor is preventing me from going anywhere. But I can still create quite a good movement. I can still protract the shoulders, pull them forward, and then retract and push them back. So I'm going to go into a little flexion and into a little extension, into a little flexion and into a little extension. And then if you feel comfortable enough, you're lying down on the back and you want to progress it slightly, then you can rub hold of the head as you flex. You're trying to bring the head forward with you. As you extend, you pop the head down and extend through the upper back. And then I'm going to lift, take the head with me, and then drop back, and then extend in through. So as much movement into the back as possible, some movement into the neck too. Just making sure that the movement, again, is not creating pain. If you're seated, you can use the arms to encourage more movement. So I'm going to hold on to the legs, hold on to the chair, and then see if I can really exaggerate this. I'm going to protract the shoulders, I'm going to try and round the back as much as I can, and then retract the shoulders, extend and lift as low as I can. So I'm going to drop and round, and then I'm going to open up and lift. 3, open up and lift. 2, open up and lift. Last time. Open up and lift, and releasing back. Relaxing the shoulders, releasing the back. It's a little bit more movement into the back. I'm going to change the direction. From flexion extension, I'm going to start going into a little lateral flexion. So if you're lying down on the back, you can support the head with one hand and then reach with the other. If I'm seated up, I don't need to support the head is on top of the shoulders. I'm just going to start to flex into one side. So with one arm, I'm going to reach off to the side. I'm going to try and flex it down one way, easing back to the center. With the other arm, I'm going to reach the other way, flex into the other side. Coming back to the center, and then flex into the other side again. So maintaining the movement to go on. It's nice, easy movement from side to side. If you're lying down on the back, you've got the floor to guide you. So the shoulders are on the ground. You're flexing to the side, taking yourself down one way, and then flexing to the other side, taking yourself the other way. If you're seated up, imagine the wall being behind you. So see if I can think of my shoulders and the back of my head staying on the wall. as I flex to the side. So I'm not coming forward, I'm not moving back, I'm just moving sideways. So there's a little drop on the right, opening up the left side, and then a little drop to the left, opening up the right side, and then coming back. 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the back. It's a little bit more movement into the upper back. I'm going to try and create a little bit more movement, but this time I'm going to start involving the lower back as well. So if you're lying down, if you're sitting up, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go for a little pelvic tilt. So this time, instead of focusing on the upper back, rounding, opening and closing, see if you can think of the lower back. So I'm going to rock back onto the tailbone if I'm sitting up, so I'm going to press the lower back flat against the floor if I'm lying down, and then I'm going to rock back onto the seat bone, so I'm going to come back up. So a little pelvic tilt to see if I can encourage a movement right at the bottom of the spine, so the back tends to be quite locked, quite stiff. So if you're lying down on the back, you see if you can create that nice gentle tilt, tilting the pelvis back, and the tailbone curls away from the ground and then rolls back into the ground. As if you're massaging the back of the hips and the lower back. See if I can create a little bit of a length as I tilt the pelvis back and then bring myself back into neutral. The pressure at the back of the hips is even, so I'm not leaning to the right, I'm not drifting to the left. And then as you're happy with the movement, you can feel the movement, it's a little bit easier, feels a little bit looser. And so you can start focusing on the rest of the body too. So I want the chest to stay relaxed, my neck to stay relaxed, I want my legs to stay relaxed. I just want a little movement right into the middle, into the lower back, and then nowhere else. 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the back, and releasing the hips. It's a little bit more movement into the lower back. I'm going to stay with the lower back, but changing the direction. Instead of a lateral, instead of a front to back, it's a flexion extension. Again, I'm going to go into a little lateral flexion. So if you're lying down on the back, keeping the hips down on the ground, I'm going to try and hitch the right hip towards the rib cage. So I'm going to tip the hips slightly to the right. Then I'm going to try and pull that left hip right to that left side of the rib cage, tipping them to the left. So I'm going to try and pull up on the right and then pull up on the left. If I'm sitting up, exactly the same thing. I'm going to try and hitch up on the right seat bone, trying to, almost as if I was trying to lift the right bum cheek off the chair, off the floor, and then pulling up onto that left side. So pulling up on the right, pulling up on the left, pulling up on the right, pulling up on the left. And then these times, if you can focus on a gentle tension coming from the side of the belly tightening on one side to allow the hitch, to allow the lift, relaxing back, and the other side tightening to allow the lift, to allow the hitch on the other side. So one, coming back, the other, coming back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, releasing the hips and releasing the back. I feel a little bit looser through the back too. I'm going to start creating bigger movements. So this time, if you're lying down, bending the knees, walking the feet up into a jig. Feet and knees are nice and close together. If I'm sitting up, I'm just going to try and shuffle the legs as close as possible, raising the arms out to the front. Hands apart, or clasping the hands together, I'm going to move the legs to the right, the arms to the left. So I'm going to rotate around this arm. Coming back to the middle, I'm going to send the arms to the right and the legs to the left. And then coming back. So think of a nice spiral movement that is going through the body. The shoulders are trying to turn one way, the hips are trying to turn the other. If I'm sitting on the chair, again, I'm limited through the hips because my hips are sitting on something, so I can't move them very well. But I can still try to push the legs off to the side. I can still move the legs to the side slightly to encourage that rotation. If I'm lying down, I've got more space to play with. So I can turn the hips and I can turn the shoulders over at the same time. The head is turning to follow the arms. So I'm not creating any tension or stiffness into the neck. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And releasing back, releasing the shoulders, adjusting the hips, adjusting the legs. And then I'm going to try and focus the intention into the hips a little bit more. So if you're lying down, bending the knees, walking the feet up towards you, setting the feet at a comfortable distance. I'm going to let the arms come down the side. The arms are relaxed, pushing down through the soles of the feet, squeezing with the back of the bum. I'm going to try and drive the hips up and away from the mat. I'm going to try and lift my way up into bridge. Little lift, a big lift, whatever works for you. I'm going to ease my way back, and then I'm going to try again. If I'm sitting on the chair, same as usual, I'm just going to lean forward ever so slightly, hands to the legs, hands to the chair, and then squeezing with the back of the bum. Imagine to be lifting off the chair. So I'm going to try and get my hips to pull away, and then I'm just going to ease back. I'm going to try and get myself to pull away and ease back. I might not lift off completely off the chair. It doesn't matter, just to see if you can try and create that squeeze that is almost like a bouncing you off the chair. So I'm going to try and clench the bum and then squeeze my way forward, squeeze my way up. If you've got something in front of you, you can lean on the desk, you can lean on the table to see if you can actually physically try to get the hips to just hover slightly above the chair. 4. 3. 2. Last one, I want you to squeeze your way up. I want you to hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release back. Raising the hips, releasing the legs, hugging the knees to the chest if you're lying down, gentle rocking for the hips, just a little stretch into the lower back if you needed to do so. And then dropping the feet back down, allowing the legs, allowing the hips to have a little rest to relax. So there's a little bit more connection at the back. I'm going to try and bring the intention to the front of the hip this time. So starting in the same position, the knees are bent, the legs are at a comfortable distance. I'm going to slowly start to see if I can get my right foot to pull away from the ground. So I'm going to try and pull up on the right side. Then I'm going to ease that foot back, and then I'm going to repeat it again. Same leg, same movement. I'm going to try and pull up the right foot, and then I'm going to ease it back down. Same as for the hips, I might be able to lift the foot off the ground, I might not be able to. It might be a very little lift, it might be a big lift. It doesn't matter, it's whatever I feel I can control. If I find that the leg is very heavy, so I can't control it very well, then using the strap around the back of the leg or using the hands to support the leg, see if I can encourage that flexion. So allowing the leg to move into the hip socket to see if I can try and warm up the hip joint and then gradually find a better connection into the front of the hip. So see if I can picture the front of the hip closing to allow the leg to lift and then opening back. Closing to allow the leg to lift and then opening back. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the leg and releasing the hip. Exactly the same thing with the left side. So adjusting the position of the legs. If you know that you need the strap or the band, popping the band around the back of that left leg. And then I'm going to try and do the same thing to the left side. So I'm going to try and pull up on the left foot and then releasing the foot back down. Lifting up on the left foot and then easing the foot back down again. So maintaining that little up and down going on this side. Again, noticing difference between the right and the left side. The left leg might be feeling a lot heavier, a lot lighter to move. I might need my hands, I might need the band to help me move this leg. Same as I did on the right side. See if you can try and create some movement into the hip, allowing the joint to warm up, so making sure that it doesn't feel too stiff, it doesn't feel so locked. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg, just a little bit more connection at the front of the hip. This time I want to try and work through the inside of the leg, inside of the hip. So I'm going to shuffle the knees nice and close together again, sitting or lying down, and then instead of going for a knee lift, I'm going to go for a little knee drop. So I'm going to start opening the right leg out to the right, as far to the right as it's comfortable, making sure that's not pinching on the hip. And then think of the inner thigh, the inside of the leg, squeezing the leg back to the center. Then again, I'm going to open the right leg out to the right. And then I'm going to squeeze it back to the center again. Keeping the movement going. Imagine the leg to be moving almost like into trickle, so something really thick. So I'm going to control the leg on the way out. I'm not just letting the leg drop out, and then I'm going to try and resist and control my way back. If you're sitting up, because obviously gravity pulls down, not out, you might want to make it a little bit more challenging by resisting with the leg, with the hand slightly. So as the leg comes back, I'm going to put my hand on the inside of the leg and then creating a little resistance so that the leg has to work a little bit harder to come back. Then I'm going to let the leg open out again, and then I'm just going to make it work a little bit harder to come back to the center again. So see if I can find that connection to the inside of the leg, the inside of the thigh. Feeling those muscles tensing gently to help you bring the leg back into its upright position. The belly connected to give a little support while the leg is moving. 5. Squeezing it back. 4. Squeezing it back. 3. 2. Last time. And Releasing back, relaxing the leg, releasing the hip. I'm going to try and find the same connection onto that left side. So same as before, bringing the knees nice and close together. I'm going to start opening that left knee out to the left. And then I'm going to squeeze it back to center. Then open into the left again. And then squeeze it back to center. And then same as on the other side, especially if you're seated up. If I want a little bit more resistance, I'm just going to put that hand on the inside of the leg and then offer a little resistance when the leg comes back. Then I'm going to open out, and then again a little resistance as the leg comes back. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And releasing back, releasing the hip, releasing the inner thigh, relaxing the leg. Just a little bit more connection through the inside of the leg. I'm going to do the same, but this time I'm going to try and work it to the side of the leg, the side of the hip. So if you're lying down, I want you to roll over onto your side. So setting yourself into a side line for a climb. If I'm seated up, the same as before, I'm going to bring the knees nice and close together. And then focusing on the right leg, focusing on the top leg if you're lying down. I'm going to start opening the right knee out to the right, and the top leg out to the side. If you're seated, putting the hand on the side of the leg, and then see if you can push the leg out against the resistance of the hand. Then I'm going to bring the leg back in again. And then again, I'm going to extend and rotate. I'm going to push the leg out against the resistance of the hand. And then I'm going to bring it back in again. So see if I can make the side of the leg, the side of the hip work a little bit harder. This time to pull the leg out to the side. And then I'm just going to release it back in again. If you're seated, the hips are normally staying nice and still unless you start sliding on the chair. If you're lying down, so you can be aware that the hips are staying steady, staying forward. It's just the leg that is rotating into the hip socket. So see if I can focus the tension into the side of the hip, into the side of the bum. And then especially if you're lying down on the side, you might find that the leg starts getting very heavy, so the lift starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So you can still encourage some movement. If you need the rest, to take the rest whenever you need to. 3. 2. Last one. And releasing back, giving the hip a little tap, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So if you're lying down on the back, rolling over to the other side, setting yourself onto the other leg. Same position, the legs are together, the knees are bent. I'm going to start opening the left leg, the other leg out to the side, and then bringing it back to center. If I'm seated, I'm going to use the hand on the side of the leg. A little resistance is something I can push against as I'm opening, and then I'm just going to close and come back. And again, push against the hand as I'm opening, and then I'm going to ease back. So same as on the other side. See if I can think of the tension being down the side of the hip into the side of the bone. If I'm lying down on the side, exactly the same. I'm taking the hips forward to see if I can get the leg to move into the hip socket. So see if I can create that lift, to see if I can create that external rotation into the hip, into the leg. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one, and releasing back, giving the hip a little tap, making sure that the side of the hip, the side of the leg as recovered. If you're lying down on your side, I want you to roll over onto your front. If you're seated up, I'm going to sit up onto the seat base, and then this time I'm going to try and see if I can go into a bigger extension. If I'm lying down, I'm going to set the arms around the side. That's where I feel more comfortable. And then from there, I'm going to start extending. I'm going to start lifting the head and the top of the chest. And then if I feel comfortable enough, I'm going to push it through the arms and then see if I can extend into the lower back too. Then I'm going to ease my way back down onto the mat, and then I'm going to extend it through again. Making sure that the movement is not causing pinching, it's not causing pain. If I'm seated up, we can exaggerate the movement to the same extension that we practiced earlier. See if I can make it bigger. So I'm going to hold on to the back of the leg, hold on to the chair, and then I'm just going to try and push the chest forward as if I was trying to stick the chest out, lifting up through the breastbone, lifting up through the back, as if I can create a nice extension through. And then I'm going to release back. And again, I'm going to try and open up, lift. Think of the front of the body getting as big as possible. I want to try and go long and wide as I lift. Then I'm just going to release back. And then again, I'm going to open up, extend, create space at the front. And then I'm just going to release back. So each time, think of bigger. I want more space between one shoulder and the other across the front of the chest. I want more length along the breastbone, down into the belly, all the way to the pubic bone. So see if I can try and open up all that space so that tends to close down at the front as we spend so much time seated, as we spend so much time leaning forward and then doing things at the front. So see if I can try and go the opposite. See if I can try and reverse, open, make myself bigger, give myself more space at the front. 4 more. Extending. And coming back. 3, finding the breath that works for you. It doesn't matter whichever way around you breathe, as far as you breathe in. 2. Last time. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the back, just making sure that upper body feels loose enough for when you're ready, rolling over onto one side. And then all the way around until you're resting on the back. I'm going to try and create a little bit more tension at the front of the body. This time working with the arms and with the shoulders at the same time. I'm going to take a deep breath in. I'm going to raise the arms up at the front. As I breathe out, I'm going to start reaching them forward. Imagine somebody grabbing hold of your hands and then pulling you forward. I'm going to lift the head and the shoulders off the ground. I'm going to try and curl my way up. And then I'm just going to ease my way back down. If you're seated, imagine to be reaching but towards the ground. So I'm going to round into the back. I'm going to reach forward through the arms as if I was trying to, I don't know, put my shoes on. I'm going to reach forward, reach down, and then I'm going to come my way back up. Then again, I'm going to reach forward, reach down, curl my way up, and then coming back. If you're lying down and you're feeling comfortable enough to do so, you can start making the movement a little bit bigger. So instead of just lifting the head and the shoulders, I'm going to try and see if I can pull myself all the way up into sitting. And then I'm just going to control my way down. You can even use the arms slightly to give a little help. So I'm going to reach forward, maybe grabbing hold of the legs or pushing against the floor. See if I can pass the sticky point to take me all the way up. And then on the way down, I'm just going to grab hold of the legs or place my arms down onto the ground to help me come back down. Just making sure that I'm not forcing the movement, so I'm not trying to throw myself up, I'm not creating strain on the back. It's just a nice attention into the front of the belly and a nice movement into the back. Two more times. And then as you finish with the last one, releasing all the way back, allowing the front of the chest, the front of the belly to have a little rest, especially if you're lying down, because the belly has to work a little bit harder. And then I'm going to try and give the legs a little bit of a stretch. Bending the right knee, I'm going to bring the right leg up and towards me. Think of the leg dropping into the hip socket, just to see if I can really allow the hip to relax. Once I can feel that the leg is relaxed, I'm going to start pulling the leg across to the front of the body. I'm going to open the right arm out to the side to help me counterbalance. And then as soon as I can feel the right bum cheek lifting off the ground, I'm going to resist any further lifting. So I'm going to hold the hip there and then still pulling with the arms. See if I can create a nice stretch coming down the side of the hip or the side of the leg. If I'm seated up, same as usual, if I can, I'm going to cross the right leg over the left and then see if I can create a little stretch that way. If I can't lift the leg up, I'm just going to push both legs off to the left to see if I can create a little traction, or just pushing the legs off to the side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ease it back. Swapping the legs around, I'm going to bring the left leg up. See if I can allow the leg to really relax into the hip socket. And then grabbing hold of the leg with my right arm only, I'm going to pull it across to the left. If I'm seated, trying to cross one leg over the other, or pushing the legs off to the side. If I'm lying down, as soon as I can feel the left bum cheek lifting off the ground, I'm going to resist any further lifting. So holding the hip there, and then pulling with the arms, if I can really try to get the stretch going into the side of the hip, the side of the bone. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, releasing the hip, releasing the leg, and then working in reverse. Keeping the knees bent, I'm going to let the soles of the feet turn in and come together. And then allowing the knees to open out to the side to flop out and apart. So if you're lying down, just allowing gravity to do the work. The weight of the leg dropping down and towards the ground. The lower back is nice and flat against the back of the mat. If I'm seated up, as gravity is not going to help me, I have to help myself. So I'm going to bring the feet nice and close together, and then hands on the inside of the legs. I'm going to try and push them out as far away from each other as possible. So see if I can encourage a gentle opening through the inner thigh, into the hip, into the groin. If you're lying down and you want a little bit more stretch, you can do the same. You put the hands on the inside of the leg and then apply a little pressure. We're going to do a little bit of a resisted stretch here. So I'm going to push with the hands out into the legs, and then with the legs I'm going to squeeze back in. So at the same time I'm going to try and close the knees and then keep them open with my hands. So the legs are tensing. I'm going to hold on to the tension. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep that tension there. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, keep pushing with the arms, but stop resisting with the legs. See if the legs want to open up just a little bit wider. Holding them steady there. Try again. Hold with the arms, squeeze together with the legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, to stop squeezing with the arms, and keep pushing with the, stop squeezing with the legs, keep pushing with the arms. If the legs want to open up a little bit wider. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Bring the legs back to the middle, giving the legs a little walk, a little shake. Just a little bit more length through the inside of the leg. I'm going to try and work into the back of the leg. So if you're lying down, if you've got a strap, you can put the strap around the foot, or you just can hold that leg. If I'm seated, I've got the same choice. I can put the strap around the foot and try to lift the leg into the stretch, or I can try and straighten up the leg a little bit more in front of me, and then leaning forward, I'm just going to ease forward into that leg until I can feel the pull, until I can feel the stretch. Keeping the leg as straight as possible, I'm just going to either pull the leg towards me or trying to lean forward to get to the leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease in the stretch, swapping the band around that left foot. If you're using the band, straightening up the left leg a little bit more. If I'm seated up on the chair, and then same as before, either pulling the leg up and towards you, or leaning forward to move into the leg, feeling the stretch into the back of the leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. This is a little bit more length at the back of the leg too. When you're ready, going over onto one side, and in your own time, pushing yourself all the way back up into sitting. Finding your comfortable seated position. If I'm seated on the chair, see if I can try and find my seat bones. See if I can try and sit up a little bit taller. If I'm seated on the floor, maybe using the hands at the back to offer a little support if I need that support. And then when you're ready, start extending your way through. So I'm going to send the breastbone up and towards the ceiling. I'm going to look forward, I'm going to look up, I'm going to look back. And then I'm going to release. I'm going to come forward, little flexion, going forward and down. And then I'm curling back up, extending through, pushing the chest forward, drawing the shoulders back, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then release and coming forward, rounding the shoulders, dropping forward, relaxing down. Last time, extending your way up and looking forward, looking up, looking back. We're trying to open up and lift to the front of the body. And then easing your way back. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your back. Give yourself a clap on that. Any question or anything as usual? please say. Remember, you need to unmute yourself